In this module, you will learn about the Indian judiciary. You might have seen this statue in movies or in a book. This is Justitia, the goddess of justice that personifies judicial systems across the globe. In India, the judiciary is an independent body that plays a critical role in the functioning of the country. It has the sole right to make or break decisions without the interference of the government, which includes the legislature and the executive. This separation of powers ensures impartial, equal justice to all citizens of India. It also prevents influential people like politicians and members of parliament to manipulate the judiciary. Apart from resolving all disputes between citizens and the government at various levels, the judiciary is also the final interpreter of the Constitution. It is also responsible for upholding and enforcing the fundamental rights for every citizen of the nation. If, at any given time, you feel your fundamental right, which includes freedom of speech or religion, to name a few, is violated, you can approach the court. The Indian judiciary is a three-tiered system with the Supreme Court at its helm, officiated by the Chief Justice, the High Court at the head of state, followed by the District and Sessions Court. The High Courts were established in the presidencies of Bombay, Calcutta, and Madras in 1862, well before the Supreme Court. The day India became a republic on 26th January 1950 was when the Supreme Court was first established. The courts are connected with each other through the appellate system that exists in India. This means that if a person feels they have not been given justice in a lower court, like the Sessions or District Court, they can approach the High Court to relook at the case. If justice is still not met, the case is taken to the Supreme Court, where the final judgment is made. Most of the cases fall into two broad categories of the legal system: criminal and civil law. Criminal law deals with cases of assault, theft, murder, dowry, and harassment, whereas civil law deals with land disputes, property deals, divorce, and rent agreements. Though the judicial structure in India seems well laid out and accessible to all, is it really easily accessible for all citizens in India? Not really. While it's easier for educated people like us, it's the poor that suffer the most. There's a lot of paperwork and money involved in court cases, making it close to impossible for a poor family to approach a court for justice. To add to this, a court hearing can spill over many years till a final judgment is made, making it impractical for a layman to approach a court. However, to combat this situation and increase the accessibility to justice, the Supreme Court introduced the Public Interest Litigation, or PIL, in the 1980s. This enabled a person who needed justice to file a PIL directly to the High Court or Supreme Court. The midday meal that children get in government schools is a result of a PIL filed. Despite some of the problems of the judicial system in India, as an independent body, it has played a key role in the functioning of the country and protecting the fundamental rights of the citizens. We have now reached the end of this module on the judiciary. In this module, we learned that the Indian judiciary is an independent body that plays a critical role in the functioning of the country. It is the final interpreter of the Constitution and responsible for upholding and enforcing the fundamental rights for every citizen of the nation. The Indian judiciary is a three-tiered system with the Supreme Court at its helm, the High Court at the head of state, followed by District and Sessions Court. The appellate system exists in the Indian judicial system. The legal system is broadly divided into two categories: civil and criminal law.
Hello students, good morning. Today again I am with you with Civics Unit 3. In this unit there are two chapters, Chapter 5 and Chapter 6. Chapter 5 Judiciary and Chapter 6 Understanding Criminal Judiciary. Both the chapters are related to Indian justice system or Indian judiciary. So we will do one by one. Let us first start Chapter 5 Judiciary. Here in this chapter you will learn 5 important topics under cover in this judiciary: meaning of judiciary, structure of court, role of judiciary, legal branches of law, two branches, civil law and criminal law, and does everyone access to the court. So let us start one by one. This is the introduction part, Chapter 5 Judiciary. Right, as I told you in previous chapter also that when you are learning civics, special in Form 8, all the chapters are connected with each other. Very first chapter in civics you learn about the constitution. So it is the basic of our civil rights. Whatever as a citizen, what we can do, what we have to do, what we should do, that covers in that chapter. Through that chapter you will come to know about the three main power lies in government, or we can say that three organs of the government: executive, legislature and judiciary. Executive and legislature you learn in that second and third chapter, even in fourth chapter also. They are dependent on each other. Even in previous class also you learn in Form 7 about state government, legislative assemblies and how state government forms. This year you learn about the central government, national government, how it forms. But though judiciary is the third organ of government, but it is totally independent. It is no one can under control this judiciary. Judiciary is 100% independent body, independent organ of the government. So here it is very importantly given that as an organ of government, the judiciary plays a crucial role in the functioning of India as a democracy. It can play this role only because it is independent. It means it doesn't depend on executive or prime minister, president. No one can interfere in its matter. What does an independent judiciary mean? Is there any connections between the courts in your area and in the Supreme Court in New Delhi? In this chapter you will find answers to these questions. Means what is the meaning of integrated judiciary? What is the meaning of independent judiciary? See, both the words, integrated judiciary, independent judiciary, both are different words. So please try to make it clear all through this chapter. And does everyone access to the court? We keep on listening from the others that it is too late decision, right? We have recent example in Nirbhaya's case. After 7 years, that incidents happen, that poor heinous incident happened in 2012, and that guilt person got punishment in 2020 after 7-8 years. So it is said that our system is justice delayed, justice denied. For that Indian system it is always said. So we will see that how this quotation proof for the Indian judiciary, that is also given in this chapter. So very first topic of this chapter is what is the role of judiciary. First, I hope you understand the meaning of judiciary. Judiciary is a system of or organ of government which give justice to the citizen, right? In fundamental rights also you learn that 6.1, that constitutional remedy. So if anyone feel that their rights are violated, they can approach to the court. That's why our court system is totally independent. So, along with that, what are the functions of judiciary that is given here? So, let us start. Courts take decision on very large numbers of issues. They can decide that no teacher can beat a student, or ab- about the sharing of river water between states, or they can punish people for particular crimes, right? Broadly speaking, the work that judiciary does can be divided into following, means all the different types of function judiciary do, we can divide broadly in these three. Number one, dispute resolution, means any kind of disputes, quarrels, right? The judicial system provide a mechanism for resolving disputes between citizens, means any two citizens if there is a dispute. Listen carefully. Between citizen and government. Suppose as a citizen, if I have problem with the state government policy or any of the government policy, then I can file a case against state government. So this is called between citizen and the government. Between two state governments, suppose Gujarat government has problem with the Rajasthan government, so also they can approach to the court. Government, as a government body, they can file a case against the another state government. And between the center and state government, right, there can be problem between state government and central government. Maybe state government is not contained with the decision taken by central government, so they can also approach to the court. So all these type of disputes can be resolved in judiciary. So first function. Now the second, judicial review is the final interpreter, right? In previous chapter when I was explaining about the law making, at that time also I explained you that at last court will decide that whether it is right or wrong. So as the final interpreter of the constitution, judiciary is also considered as a guardian of constitution. The judiciary also has the power to strike down particular law passed by the parliament if it believes that these are a violation on the basic structure of constitution. Right? Means Supreme Court can strike down, can aid, can ask for the review that decision. So as a guardian of constitution, Supreme Court or judiciary has power for change the law. This is called judiciary review. Third is upholding the law and enforcing fundamental right. Every citizen of India can approach the Supreme Court or the High Court if they believe that their fundamental right. This is same according to right to constitutional remedy. If any person is thinking that his or her fundamental rights are violated, he or she can approach to the Supreme Court or High Court. For example, in class 7th book, you read about Hakim Sheikh as an agriculture laborer who fell from running train and injured himself, and whose condition got worse because several hospitals refused to admit him. On hearing his case, the Supreme Court ruled that Article 21, right to life, you keep in mind, this Article 21 will come so many times in your chapters, in another chapters also. Article 21, it is related to right to life, it is given here, which provides every citizen the fundamental right to life, also include the right to health. It therefore directed the West Bengal government to pay him compensation for the loss suffered. You remember this Hakim Sheikh story last year? And he got compensation from the Pashchim Bengal government because government failure to admit him in any public hospital. So in that case, his fundamental rights were violated. He could not get access to public hospital. So Supreme Court has taken his side and given provide him compensation. Here in side picture you can see the building of Supreme Court. The Supreme Court was established on 26 January 1950, the day India became a republic. Like its procedure, the Federal Court of India, it was as a Federal Court of India from 1937 to 49. It was earlier located in the Chamber of Prince in the Parliament House. It moved to its present building on Mathura Road in New Delhi 1958. As a general knowledge, you should know that what is that building, previously for what purpose it was used, and now what is this? It is called Supreme Court, located at New Delhi, Mathura Road. Address is also given. Okay. So hope these three function you got it clearly. Dispute resolution, any kind of disputes between two citizen, to government and citizen, central government and state government. Judicial review means any kind of law, if it is found that it is against the constitution, fundamentals of the constitution, then it can ask for the review it and upholding the law and enforcing fundamental rights of citizen. Now the next topic is independent judiciary. It is most important topic. Because of this independent judiciary, we can approach to the court and we can ask for our fundamental right. So let us see what is given here. Imagine a situation in which a powerful politician has encroached on land belonging to your family. Within this judicial system, the politician has the power to appoint and dismiss a judge from his office. Right? We see many times that judges are bribed, or if judge is honest, you removed, transfer some other place. Right? So within this judicial system, the politician has power to appoint and dismiss a judge from his office. When you take this case to court, the judge is clearly partial to the politician. Right? Now you understand your situation. Your family land is encroached by some politically powerful person. And if you approach to court, then there is also useless, because the judge is either bribed or whatever the judge, if he would be honest, then he would be get transfer. The control that the politician hold over the judge does not allow for the judge to take an independent decision. That is against our constitution. This lack of independence would force the judge to make all judgment in favor of the politician. Although we often hear of rich and powerful people in India trying to influence the judicial process, right? No doubt there are so many strict rules are there, but always people, these rich people, financially powerful people, politicians, they are always taking the benefit of loopholes and they try to influence the judicial process. The Indian Constitution protects against this kind of situation by providing for the independence of judiciary. So Indian constitutions come to protect this kind of situation and provide independence of judiciary. So one aspect of independent judiciary is the separation of power that you learn in chapter 1. Key feature of our constitution. What this means here is that other branches of government, the legislature, the executive, cannot interfere in the work of judiciary. The court are not under the government and do not act on their behalf. Means court cannot take the side of any politician, any state government or central government. So court is a separate body than legislature and executive. For the above separation to work well, it is also crucial that all judges in the High Court as well as Supreme Court are appointed with very little interference. See, this is very important. Right? On paper, if we are telling that judiciary is independent, judiciary is separate, but how? So for that, all the judges, whether judges of courts, High Court or Supreme Court, should be appointed by a proper and separate appointment system. Here it is given that in the High Court as well as the Supreme Court are appointed with very little interference from these other branches of government. Once appointed to this office, it is also very difficult to remove a judge. Means once as a judge he or she can appoint it, then it should not be easy that any politician or any financial powerful people come and remove him from his post or can bribe. So if there will be some strictness, then only court system will be independent. It is the independence of judiciary that allow the courts to play a central role in ensuring that there is no misuse of power by the legislature and executive. Right? If independent judiciary will be there, then only legislature will be also careful and executive also, and they will never misuse their power. It also plays a crucial role in protecting the fundamental rights of citizens, because anyone can approach the court if they believe that their rights have been violated. So through this thing, I can imagine that you make it clear what is the meaning of independent judiciary. No one can bound in judiciary. Judiciary has to take independent decision without any interference of executive or legislative. and only that it can play a crucial role in protection of the fundamental right of citizens. And if citizens' rights are protected, then there will be no violation, there will be always peace and order. Okay, hope this topic is clear to you all. In next class we will understand the structure of court and legal branches, that is criminal and civil law. Okay student, today we are keeping the lesson till here. See you again. Goodbye students.
The judiciary, also known as the judicial system, is the system of courts that interprets and applies the law in a country. The judiciary also provides a mechanism for the resolution of disputes. Students, Indian judiciary is the continuation of the British legal system established by the English in the mid-19th century. Click on the segments of the circle to know more about the role of the judiciary. Role of the judiciary. Courts take decisions on a large number of issues. They can decide that no teacher can beat a student, or about the sharing of river waters between states, or they can punish people for particular crimes. The work that a judiciary does can be classified as dispute resolution, judicial review, upholding the law and enforcing fundamental rights. Dispute resolution. The judicial system provides a mechanism for resolving disputes between citizens and the government, between two state governments, and between the center and state governments. Upholding the law and enforcing fundamental rights. Students, every citizen of India can approach the Supreme Court or the High Court if they believe that their fundamental rights have been violated. The Constitution offers all citizens individually and collectively some basic freedoms. These are guaranteed in the Constitution in the form of fundamental rights. Judicial review. The judiciary has the power to strike down particular laws passed by the Parliament if it believes that these are a violation of the basic structure of the Constitution. Students, this is called judicial review.